A text on my birthday shattered everything. Dad sold my laptop for my brother's phone. Eldrick, 37, a designer in Rockland, Maine, faces family secrets exposed under the lobster-scented festival lights. The faded family photo in my pocket holds memories now at risk. Shock turns to empathy as forgiveness mends broken bonds. Will this secret tear us apart or heal us? Dive into emotional family stories where compassion triumphs over revenge. What family secrets have you faced? Join us. The Maine Lobster Festival glows under the amber brushstrokes of a July 2025 sunset, the docks alive with laughter, the shimmer of fairy lights dancing across the harbor like fireflies. Sea-salted wind carries the scent of melted butter and the faint twang of a fiddle. People mill about in shirt sleeves, cheeks flushed from sun and beer, unaware that my world has just been quietly cracked open. I'm 37 today. My birthday. I had expected something simple, a rare dinner with Dad, maybe a few quiet words, something resembling warmth. Instead, I'm standing alone at the edge of Rockland's harbor, staring at a text message that makes my gut twist. Sold your laptop. Your brother needs a new phone. Be grateful. Dad. Just like that. No discussion. No warning. Just gone. My fingers tremble around the phone as the words blur, then refocus. My laptop, my work, my art. Years of architectural sketches, client drafts, design concepts, and personal journals, all gone reduced to a financial transaction on behalf of Jory. My brother. The golden child. Again. I take a slow breath, then pace the wooden planks beneath my feet. They creak under my sneakers, but I can barely hear them over the hum of conversation, the music, the dull roar of festival joy that now feels alien. The band on the main stage strikes up a sea shanty and people cheer. I don't move. My thoughts snarl and knot inside my head. What kind of father does that? I dial. Straight to voicemail, of course. I wait for the beep, and then it all pours out tight-clipped angry. Dad, what the hell? You sold my laptop without even telling me for Jory. Call me back. I hang up, lower the phone, and let my hand fall to my side. The screen fades to black, but the words echo like waves pounding rocks. Be grateful. That phrase keeps replaying as if the betrayal wasn't enough. Like I owe him something for being robbed. I shove the phone into my pocket and walk, trying to shake it off. But the wound is fresh and deep. I moved back to Rockland last year trying to be present to help with Mom. Her dementia has hollowed her out, and I've spent more hours at the house than I care to count cleaning, cooking, watching her forget my name than remember it with a trembling smile. Dad's been a rock, or I thought he was. Gruff, yes. Distant, sure. But not cruel. Not like this. I scanned the crowd, looking for him. He was supposed to meet me by the main stage. A quiet dinner. That's all I wanted. I pushed through clusters of families sharing lobster rolls past kids swinging glow sticks and waving sparklers. The smell of fried clams fills the air, and banners overhead flap in the wind. Maine Lobster Festival. July 30th, AUG 3, 2025. Red, white, and blue flags from the 4th still line the streets, but the patriotism feels hollow. There's no unity in my chest, just fracture. When I reach the picnic table near the stage, it's empty. Dad's not here. I sit elbows braced on the table, my breath shallow. Across the harbor, the sea stretches out in bruised purples and gold. Boats sway in the soft tide. A couple dances nearby, slow and easy, lost in their world. I envy them. The band shifts to a slower tune, the kind that aches in your ribs. I lean back, eyes fixed on nothing. The crowd fades, and I'm left with memory dad grilling on my 10th birthday, mom singing off-key as fireworks bloomed above the trees. I used to think those were the best days of my life. Maybe they were. And then there's Jory who always got second chances, who crashed Dad's truck and got a lecture while I got grounded for forgetting to feed the dog. Jory who drifted from job to job yet still got applause just for trying. And me, I built a career in Boston, returned home to help, and somehow, I'm still the afterthought. The text message wasn't just a decision, it was a message. You don't matter as much as he does. I look down at my hands. They're clenched, white-knuckled. A habit from childhood when biting my tongue was safer than speaking up. I unclench them slowly, then clench again. It's instinctual now, like bracing for an invisible slap. Maybe I am overreacting. Maybe Dad's stretched too thin. Mom's decline has been hard. I've seen it his sleepless nights, the way he stares out the kitchen window after she forgets his name again. Maybe he sold the laptop because he had no choice. Maybe Jory's in some kind of trouble. Maybe, but none of that makes it okay. He could have asked, one conversation. That's all it would have taken. I look out at the sea again. The sunset is fading, swallowed by dusk. Lanterns flicker to life along the docks. Somewhere behind me, kids shriek with laughter. The festival beats on, but I feel like I'm underwater. The deeper thought lands uninvited. What if I've been wrong to come back? I moved home to rebuild, to help, to belong. But now I wonder if I was just returning to a place that never really saw me, not fully, not the version of me I became after leaving, not the man who built his own life, his own name, his own art. Maybe I'm still just the older brother who should give up his tools so Jory can have a new toy. I stand. The crowd is starting to thin as night creeps in. The music winds down, replaced by the hum of conversation and the clink of plastic cups. I glance at my watch. Dad's over an hour late. There's no mistaking it now. He's not coming. I turn from the lights from the celebration and start walking down the road toward his house. Past the rows of booths, past the smell of kettle corn and salt air, past the people who are still laughing and whole. Each step forward feels heavier than the last. But I keep going. Because I need answers. Because this silence between us has teeth. Because tonight, on the day I was born, I realize I have to find out not just why he did it, but what it says about who we are now. The night swallows my footsteps as I walk into the dark, away from the glow of the festival, toward the truth. Whatever it is. The Maine Lobster Festival pulses under a starlit July sky, its energy a stark contrast to the knot in my chest. I sit at a long picnic table draped in red and white checkered cloth, the scent of lobster rolls and melted butter thick in the air. Families around us laugh, their plates piled high, while fiddles hum from a nearby stage. Independence Day flags, still up from last week, flutter in the breeze, red, white, blue reminders of unity that feel distant tonight. Dad's text, "Sold your laptop. Your brother needs a new phone." Be grateful burns in my mind, but I force a smile. We're here for my birthday after all. Maybe Dad will show up and explain. Dad. Thane slumps across from me, his weathered face lit by string lights. At 68, he's all salt and grit, a retired lobsterman worn thin by Mom's dementia. Mom Leora sits beside him, her eyes darting, lost in a haze. Jory. My 22-year-old brother fidgets next to me, his festival worker's apron still tied on. The table holds a faded family photo, a symbolic object from happier times, Mom laughing, Dad grilling us kids small. I stare at it, willing those days back. Great festival, huh? I say, voice tight, trying to break the silence. Thane grunts, poking at his lobster roll. Jory's been working hard. Got the stage set up perfect. Jory flashes a quick smile, but his eyes dodge mine, a subtle motif of evasion. Yeah, it's busy, he mumbles, scrolling his phone. I clench my fork, the praise for Jory stinging. Not good enough, a voice whispers, the emotional trigger hitting hard. Seniors watching, reflecting on legacy, know this ache being overlooked by those you love. I moved back to Rockland to mend family ties, but Dad's focus is always Jory. The text feels like proof I don't matter. Jory's killing it. Thane adds, his voice warm. Kids got hustle. What about my hustle? I ask, half joking, but my tone betrays me. Thane glances up, brow furrowing. You're doing fine, Eldrick. Always been steady. Steady. The word lands like a jab. I force another smile, a silent scene unfolding as my face tightens, hiding the hurt. The festival's chatter swirls, kids squealing, a vendor calling out, but it's distant. I glance at Mom, hoping for a spark of her old warmth. She mutters to herself, twisting her scarf. Thane pats her hand, his gaze distracted, heavy with caregiving stress. It's a social issue 43% of seniors face, and I see it in his slumped shoulders. Dad, you figure out that festival app yet, I ask, nudging the humorous subplot. Thane scowls, pulling out his phone. Damn thing's useless. Keeps crashing. He taps the screen, muttering, and Jory chuckles. It's a brief relief, a flicker of normalcy, but my chest stays tight. Need help, I offer, leaning over. Nah, I'll manage. Thane snaps, his tone sharper than intended. He fumbles the app, frozen, and I catch Jory's quick glance away, evasive again. What's he hiding? The question, per the SCQA model, looms. Why does Dad favor Jory? The answer lies ahead, but the complication tension masking deeper rifts thickens. I sip my soda, the fizz sharp on my tongue. The band shifts to a lively tune, and the crowd claps. Dialogue could fix this. I think a solution's stirring. If I talk to Dad, maybe he'll explain the text. But the words stick in my throat. I look at the family photo again. Mom's smile frozen in time. My inner monologue churns. I've tried so hard to be enough. Moved back, helped with Mom. Why am I always second? The pain echoes seniors' fears of unacknowledged sacrifice. Happy birthday, Eldrick, Jory says suddenly, his voice soft. He slides a small festival pin across the table, a lobster with googly eyes. Got it from the merch tent. I nod, surprised, but the gesture feels hollow after the text. Thanks, I mutter, pocketing the pin. The band's music swells, and a group nearby bursts into laughter, the festival's joy, a brief relief from our table's strain. But the cliffhanger hangs. Why favor Jory? What's behind Dad's choice? My reflection deepens. Humanistic and raw. Compassion could bridge this gap, but it's hard when I feel invisible. Seniors wrestling with family distance would nod, knowing the pull of love despite pain. I stand brushing crumbs from my jeans. Gonna check the stage, I say, needing air. The festival's lights beckon, but the weight of Dad's text follows me. The salt air of Rockland, Maine greets me as I climb the hill to Dad's weathered clapboard house, the Maine Lobster Festival's distant fiddle music fading behind me. It's July 2025, my birthday, but the joy's been gutted by Dad's text, sold your laptop. Your brother needs a new phone. Be grateful. The words loop in my head, each one a splinter. I need answers. The house looms, its chipped blue paint and sagging porch. A mirror of Dad's exhaustion. Inside, clutter spills medical bills. Mom's scarves, a festival app blinking uselessly on Dad's phone, another nod to his tech struggles. I knock my fist tight, the motif of my anger. Dad. Thane opens the door, his 68-year-old frame hunched, eyes red from strain. Eldrick. He grunts, stepping aside. The living room smells of coffee and dust, a stark contrast to the festival's buttery glow. Mom Leora sits in a rocking chair, her 66-year-old face vacant, twisting a scarf. Her dementia, the social issue gripping 43% of seniors, casts a shadow over us. Jory's nowhere in sight, but his festival apron hangs by the door, and I catch his quick glance from the kitchen, a silent scene, his evasion, a subtle motif hinting at secrets. Dad, we need to talk, I say, voice steady but sharp. The laptop. Why? Thane sighs, rubbing his neck. It's for Jory. He needed a phone. You've got enough, Eldrick? Enough? I snap the adversity of the cart model, flaring. That laptop was my work, my designs. You didn't even ask. You're always fine. Thane shoots back, his voice rising. Jory's struggling. Be grateful you don't need me like he does. The words hit like a wave, dragging up a flashback. I'm 10, unwrapping a laptop Dad saved for his proud grin as I booted it up. For your art, Eldrick, he'd said. That memory clashes with now his dismissal cutting deep. I clench my fist, the room's tension thick. Mom mutters, "Where's my tea?" And Thane kneels beside her, his hands gentle but trembling. The caregiving stress subplot surfaces her confusion, a daily weight on him, and I feel a pang of guilt for pushing. Dad. I moved back to help. I say softer. Why shut me out? You don't get it, Thane mutters, standing. It's not about you. He storms to the kitchen, leaving me with Mom's vacant stare. Jory peeks out, then ducks away his glance, evasive again. What's he hiding? The question lingers, but no resolution yet, per the cart model. I sit beside Mom, her scarf soft under my fingers. It's me, Eldrick, I whisper. She blinks, lost. My inner monologue churns. I thought coming back would fix us. But Dad's choosing Jory, and Mom's slipping away. Am I fighting for nothing? Seniors facing their own family fractures know this sadness, the ache of unacknowledged effort. The festival's distant drums echo through the open window, a cultural detail tying us to Rockland's pulse. Dialogue could uncover his reasons, I think a solution stirring. But Thane's anger blocks the path. The takeaway hits honesty risks pain, but might reveal truth. My reflection deepens, humanistic and raw. Is honesty worth the hurt when it's tied to Dad's caregiving burden? Seniors balancing love and strain would feel this question. The cliffhanger looms. What drives Thane's anger? I stand brushing dust from my jeans. I'll be back, I call, but Thane doesn't answer. Mom's rocking chair creaks, and Jory's shadow shifts in the kitchen. I step onto the porch, the salty air sharp, the festival's lights faint below. Answers wait, but tonight, sadness lingers. The Maine Lobster Festival roars with life, its July 2025 pulse vibrating through Rockland's crowded docks. The air hums with fried clams and salt parade drums thumping as fairy lights twinkle against the twilight. I weave through the throng, my birthday, now a bitter afterthought. Dad's text: "Sold your laptop. Your brother needs a new phone." Be grateful gnaws at me, and last night's argument with Dad Thane left me raw. His dismissal. Mom's vacant stare and Jory's evasive glance in the kitchen fuel my need for truth. I spot Jory near the festival's lobster crate stage. His apron stained his 22-year-old frame, slouched as he chats with a vendor. Something's off. I hang back, blending with the crowd, my heart pounding. The context of the CAST model sets in the festival's chaos, masks my intent to confront Jory. Why did Dad sell my laptop for him? Jory's been dodging me. His quick glances a motif of secrets. I edge closer, hiding behind a stack of traps. The vendor laughs, clapping Jory's shoulder. "New phone's slick, man," he says. Jory shrugs, muttering, "Didn't need it, but Dad insisted." My breath catches. Didn't need it. The shock hits like a rogue wave, the emotional hook crashing over me. Seniors familiar with betrayal's sting feel this jolt, family trust shattered in a moment. I step forward, the action igniting. "Jory!" I shout, voice cutting through the festival din. Heads turn, the crowd's chatter fading in a silent scene, their eyes pinning us. "You didn't need the phone. Then why'd Dad sell my laptop?" The subtext roils. I'm not just angry, I'm unraveling years of being second to Jory. The financial strain subplot emerges. Jory's lie about needing the phone suggests deeper troubles may be tied to his festival job. Jory's face pales, his eyes darting. "Eldrick, it's not what you think," he stammers, stepping back. The high-stakes scene erupts, our voices clashing like the parade drums. "Not what I think," I yell, closing the gap. "My work, my design's gone for a phone you didn't want. Explain." The crowd forms a loose circle, their murmurs a low hum. A kid drops his lobster roll, staring. The festival's joy vanishes, replaced by our raw anger. "I didn't ask for it," Jory snaps, his voice cracking. "Dad he thought I needed it." His evasion frays, but he won't meet my gaze. The turn in the CAST model hits instead of answers. Jory bolts, shoving through the crowd toward the docks. I start after him, but a vendor grabs my arm. "Let him go, man," he says. I yank free, my fist clenching the motif of my rage. The social issue of financial strain flickers Jory's lie, hints at money troubles, a burden 43% of seniors know too well. I stand chest heaving, the crowd dispersing. The parade drums fade, leaving a hollow ache. My inner monologue churns Jory's lying, but why Dad's hiding something too? I'm done being the steady one ignored. Seniors wrestling with family secrets know this anger, the weight of unacknowledged sacrifice. The festival's lights blur as my eyes sting the salty air sharp. Confrontation might spark truth. I think a solution stirring, but it's messy public raw. A flashback cuts in. I'm 15 sketching on my laptop while Jory 7 builds a sandcastle on Rockland's shore. Dad watches him beaming while I draw alone. Jory's special dad said once his words a quiet wound. Back in the present, that wound festers. Why favor Jory? The cliffhanger looms. Why did Jory lie? What's he hiding? My reflection deepens, humanistic and fierce. Positive justice demands truth, but at what cost to family? Seniors craving fairness in their own lives feel this pull, love versus accountability. I turn from the stage, the festival's pulse fading. The docks stretch dark and quiet ahead. I need to find Jory, but tonight anger drives me. The festival's clamor fades as I stand on the porch of Dad's clapboard house, the Maine twilight wrapping Rockland in a soft purple glow. It's July 2025, the day after my birthday, and the sting of Dad's text, "Sold your laptop. Your brother needs a new phone. Be grateful lingers like salt in a wound." Jory's lie, overheard at the festival, burns fresh. He didn't need the phone. Why then Dad's dismissal last night, Mom's vacant eyes, and Jory's bolt into the crowd have left me raw, but I'm here again, chasing answers. The distant hum of the Maine Lobster Festival's final night drifts up the hill, its fairy lights faint against the sea. Waves crash below a rhythmic pulse, and the salty air carries a hint of fried clams. I knock lighter, this time, my fist unclenched, the motif of anger softening. Dad. Thane opens the door, his 68-year-old face etched with fatigue. His flannel shirt hangs loose, and his eyes, red from caregiving, meet mine with a flicker of remorse. The situation of the SCQA model sets in. We're on the porch, the festival a distant echo, and I'm here to talk, not fight. The house smells of coffee and liniment, a cluttered testament to Mom's dementia care. A fishing rod propped in the corner catches my eye, a symbolic object from days when Dad and I cast lines together laughing. Eldrick Thane says, voice low, "Didn't expect you back so soon." "I need to understand, Dad," I say, stepping inside. Jory didn't need the phone. "So why my laptop?" Thane sighs, rubbing his weathered hands. "I messed up," he says, the complication rising. "I'll explain, I promise. Just give me a minute." His tone, softer than last night, sparks a flicker of hope, the emotion washing over me. Seniors craving family reconciliation feel this lift the chance to mend rifts. We sit on the porch steps, the wood creaking under us. The waves' steady crash, a sound as trigger, soothes the tension, and I notice Thane's tired eyes in a silent scene. His exhaustion, a testament to caregiving stress, a burden 43% of seniors share. "Why'd you do it, Dad?" I ask. Voice steady. "I heard Jory. He didn't want it." Thane looks out at the sea, his jaw tight. "I thought he needed it," he says. "I was wrong." "I'll make it right, Eldrick." His words, vague but earnest, are a lifeline. I nod, wanting to believe him. The dialogue feels like a bridge, a solution stirring, but the question looms. Will Thane explain fully? The answer, per SCQA, waits in the next chapter, keeping anticipation high. "Got that festival app working yet?" I ask, nudging the humorous subplot to ease the moment. Thane snorts, pulling out his phone. "This damn thing," he mutters, tapping the screen. "Supposed to track Mom's appointments, but it's all gibberish." The app freezes, and he shakes his head, a faint grin breaking through. I chuckle, the relief of laughter lightening the air, a nod to seniors' own tech struggles in 2025's digital world. I lean back the porch step, cool against my palms. The fishing rod in the corner pulls me back, a memory of Dad teaching me to cast his patience steady. "You're a natural, Eldrick," he'd said, his voice warm. That warmth feels distant now, but his promise tonight rekindles it. My inner monologue stirs. Maybe Dad sees me. Maybe we can fix this. But what's Jory hiding? Seniors yearning for family bonds know this hope tempered by doubt. The festival's distant drums pulse a cultural detail, tying us to Rockland's heartbeat. Independence Day. Flags still up flutter faintly, symbols of unity I want to believe in. Dialogue can heal us. I think the solution solidifying. My reflection deepens, humanistic and raw. Hope through dialogue is fragile, but it's all I've got. Seniors navigating their own family strains would cling to this, the pull of love over anger. The cliffhanger hangs. Will Thane explain the truth? I stand brushing sawdust from my jeans. I'm holding you to that promise, Dad, I say. He nods, his eyes heavy but sincere. The sea whispers below, and the festival's lights wink out one by one. I head down the hill, anticipation driving me forward. The docks of Rockland, Maine, stretch into the morning mist, the Maine Lobster Festival's final echoes, gone by July's end, 2025. Gulls cry overhead, and lobster boats bob gently, their ropes creaking against the salty air. I stand at the pier's edge, the weight of my birthday betrayal. Heavy Dad's text. Sold your laptop. Your brother needs a new phone. Be grateful, and Jory's lie overheard at the festival churn like the tide. He didn't need the phone. Dad's vague promise last night to make it right hangs unfulfilled, and Jory's bolt from our confrontation fuels my need for truth. The sea's gray expanse mirrors my mood, but a flicker of hope from Dad's remorse drives me here, where Jory often hides. The hook of the model grips me. I spot Jory at the dock's end, his 22-year-old frame slumped on a crate festival apron discarded. His sneakers dangle over the water and a crumpled paper. His resignation letter, a letter reveal technique, pokes from his pocket. The context sets in. The quiet docks, far from the festival's clamor, are a stage for confrontation. I approach, boots thudding on warped boards, the misty air clinging to my jacket. Independence Day flags faded, but still up flap faintly a cultural detail tying us to Rockland's stubborn pride. Jory. I call, voice firm, but not harsh. He startles, his eyes red evasive glance, fading, the motif of his secrecy unraveling. We need to talk. Now. He hunches, staring at the water. I know he mutters, the rising action building. I screwed up, Eldrick. Screwed up, I say, stepping closer. You lied. You didn't need that phone. My laptop's gone because of you. Why? The financial strain subplot surfaces, his lie about the phone hints at money troubles, a burden 43% of seniors know too well. Jory's hands tremble, the high-stakes scene igniting. I didn't want it, he chokes, voice breaking. I lost my job weeks ago. Dad found out, thought the phone would, I don't know, help me look legit. I lied to keep him from worrying. The plot twist lands dual-layered and shocking. Jory's not a selfish betrayer, but a kid hiding shame to shield Dad. Seniors familiar with family sacrifices feel this shift, anger turning to empathy. The resignation letter flutters to the dock, its scrawl confirming his words, terminated July 10th, 2025. I freeze, the shock hitting like a cold wave. You lost your job, I say softer. Why not tell me? Jory's eyes meet mine, wet and raw. You're always together, Eldrick. I'm the mess-up. Didn't want Dad thinking I'm useless. His voice cracks, and he buries his face in his hands, the climax of his breakdown. The emotional hook of his confession pulls me in, and I sit beside him, the crate rough under me. The social issue of financial strain deepens. Jory's job loss mirrors struggles many seniors face scraping by for loved ones. You're not useless, I say, my voice steady. But you should have told me. The dialogue opens a path, a solution stirring, but the question looms. What else is Dad hiding? My inner monologue churns. Jory's been carrying this alone. I judged him, but he's protecting Dad. What kind of brother am I? Seniors reflecting on their own family misunderstandings know this empathy, the ache of seeing a loved one's pain. The mist thickens, muffling the gulls. I pick up the letter, its ink smudged. A memory stirs Jory, 8, beaming, as I helped him bait his first trap, his laugh bright. Now he's broken, and I missed it. The festival's absence leaves a quiet truth, stark and real. Compassion starts with listening. I think a value taking root. My reflection deepens, humanistic and raw. Compassion can redefine what's broken, but it demands I see Jory's hurt, not just mine. Seniors navigating their own family rifts would nod feeling this call to connection. The cliffhanger looms. What else is Thane hiding? I touch Jory's shoulder. We'll figure this out, I say. He nods, wiping his eyes. The docks stretch silent, the sea whispering secrets. I stand the letter in my pocket, ready to face Dad again. The kitchen of Dad's clapboard house in Rockland, Maine, is dim lit only by a flickering bulb and the faint glow of dawn through salt-streaked windows. It's early August 2025, days after the Maine Lobster Festival, and the silence is heavy, broken only by the drip of a leaky faucet. Medical bills clutter the table. Mom's scarves draped over chairs, a testament to her dementia's toll. I sit across from Dad. Thane, his 68-year-old face carved with exhaustion, his hands gripping a chipped mug. Jory's confession on the docks, his job loss, his lie about needing the phone to shield Dad, still reverberates, softening my anger but sharpening my need for truth. Dad's text, sold your laptop. Your brother needs a new phone. Be grateful. And his vague promise to make it right hang unresolved. I'm here to understand why my laptop, my lifeline, was sacrificed. The context of the cart model sets in this cramped kitchen, steeped in caregiving stress, is where truths must surface. A stack of bills catches my eye, a symbolic object of Dad's burdens, some marked past due. The air smells of stale coffee and liniment, and outside waves crash faintly, a cultural detail tying us to Maine's rugged coast. Independence Day flags tattered now still cling to neighbors' porches, their faded unity mocking our fractured family. Dad. I start voice low but firm. Jory told me he lost his job. You sold my laptop for a phone he didn't need. Why? Thane's eyes drop to his mug, his knuckles white. It wasn't just the phone, he says, voice rough. It was for your mom. Her care. It's bleeding me dry. The adversity hits the main emotional trigger of abandonment crashing over me. The laptop money went to her meds, Eldrick. I didn't tell you because you're always fine. You don't need me like they do. His words cut deep, each one a confirmation I'm sidelined, invisible, abandoned for Mom's care and Jory's struggles. Seniors grappling with being overlooked in their own families feel this wound. Love given but not returned, sacrifices unseen. My chest tightens, breath shallow. You didn't even ask me, I say, voice cracking. That laptop was my work, my art. I moved back to help Dad. Why am I nothing to you? The trigger deepens. 250 characters. A raw ache of being erased. My mind reels. I've paid for Mom's groceries, sat with her through confusion, yet Dad chose my laptop. My dreams to sell. The social issue of caregiving stress affecting 43% of seniors is palpable. Dad's slumped shoulders, the bills piling up, but it doesn't dull my pain. Thane leans forward, eyes wet. I'm drowning, Eldrick, he says. Leora's meds cost thousands. I thought you'd understand being strong. I was wrong. His admission, raw and desperate, stirs a flicker of empathy, but the hurt overshadows it. The caregiving stress subplot surfaces, 500 characters a bill on the table, lists dementia care, $3,200, a stark reminder of Dad's burden. Mom's scarf, draped nearby, feels like her presence lost to us both. I needed you to see me. I choke, standing. The high-stakes scene unfolds. I turn, walking out the screen door, slamming behind me. The action is sharp. My footsteps heavy on the porch, a silent scene, as Dad's mug clatters in the sink. Seniors know this walkout, the moment pain drives you away from love. The dawn air bites salty and cold, and I pause, chest heaving, the festival's absence a quiet void. A flashback cuts in. I'm 12, Mom braiding my hair, her laugh warm as we baked cookies. "You're my anchor, Eldrick," she said. Now she's adrift, and I'm unmoored. My inner monologue churns Dad's fighting for Mom, but I'm collateral damage. I'm here giving, but it's not enough. Am I worth anything? The sadness is crushing, resonating with seniors' fears of being forgotten. Empathy could heal this. I think a value stirring, but the resolution waits per the cart model. The takeaway lands, compassion heals, but only if I can see past my pain. My reflection deepens, humanistic and raw. Can I find empathy for Dad's desperation when I feel so abandoned? Seniors balancing love and loss would feel this struggle. The cliffhanger looms. What else is Dad hiding? I walk down the hill. The sea's whisper fadings my heart heavy with unanswered questions. The living room of Dad's weathered clapboard house in Rockland, Maine, is soaked in the late morning hush light filtering in muted shafts through windows clouded with salt and time. It's early August 2025, just a week after the town's lobster festival, and yet the house seems to exist outside celebration, suspended in a stillness too heavy to be peaceful. The silence creaks with burden, broken only by the rhythmic moan of Mom's rocking chair. I sit slouched on the frayed couch, the cushions caved and threadbare, holding the sharp aftertaste of a betrayal that doesn't quite know where to settle. Dad sold my laptop. That was his message. Not Jory's phone, mine. The text still lingers like a bruise I keep pressing. Sold your laptop. Your brother needs a new phone. Be grateful. His words weren't cruel, just dismissive, functional. But they rewrote something in me. I thought I was helping. I thought I mattered, but in the economy of his desperation, I was expendable. Jory confessed later he'd lost his job months ago, lied to cover it up, didn't want Dad to worry. I should be angry at him, but all I can feel now is a worn-out kind of sympathy. He meant well, but Dad's choice. It felt like a door slamming shut. I'm here to see Mom, not for answers exactly, but something quieter presence maybe. A grounding. Even in her fading, there's still a flicker of who she was. Sometimes. The room carries the familiar clutter of caregiving pill bottles clustered like sentries on the side table, a damp cloth folded neatly on the armrest, a faint scent of lavender doing its best to mask the deeper smells of age and decline. Her scarf, pale blue and loose around her shoulders, slips now and then as she rocks. It was always her color. I used to wrap it tighter for her in the evenings, when the coastal chill crept in through these same drafty windows. Now, it just drapes there soft and sad, a symbol of the warmth slowly drifting from her. Outside, the cries of seagulls pierce the air, high sharp, insistent. They drag me back, uninvited. To summers on the pier, to the thud of boots on wooden planks, The smell of brine and rope, the unspoken tension between who I was and who Dad wished I'd be. Tattered American flags from Independence Day still flutter stubbornly from porch rails, proud and fraying, just like this town, just like us. I move to kneel beside her, my voice low, careful not to startle the brittle calm. "It's Eldrick, Mom," I say, unsure if I'm reminding her or myself. Her fingers twitch slightly against the blanket, but her gaze doesn't find mine. The dementia holds her like fog there, but unreachable. It hurts, in a way I can't explain, not even to myself. I want her to know me. I want to ask if she remembers the day I fell in the tide pools and she laughed, pulling me out, soaked and sputtering, calling me her sea lion. But none of that lives behind her eyes now. Her rocking continues, creak, pause, creak. And I sit with her in that rhythm, wondering who's comforting whom. The weight of caregiving settles like another body in the room. I think about Dad. About what it means to watch the person you love unravel thread by thread, and still get up each day and make toast sort pills, hold a hand that no longer squeezes back. I begin to understand the exhaustion behind his eyes, but understanding doesn't erase the ache of being overlooked. A memory flares, unbidden, vivid. I'm 13, standing on the deck of Dad's old fishing boat. It's summer, the sea glittering like a spilled treasure chest. Seagulls spiral overhead. Dad hands me a rod, his eyes lit with rare pride. "Jory's too young, Eldrick. You're ready." I'd beamed, heart full. But later on the shore, I watched him crouch beside Jory, admiring the tiny wooden boat he'd made. "You're a special kid," he murmured, unaware I could hear. I remember the way his voice softened for Jory, in a way it never had for me. I'd spent years wondering what I lacked, why I couldn't hold his gaze for long. That old sadness stirs now, quiet and familiar, the kind of wound that never scabs over, only recedes. Back in the present, Mom's eyes shift, just slightly, and then she speaks. "Eldrick," she says. It's a whisper clear as glass. "My name." Her voice, a rare moment of lucidity. I stop breathing. "Your dad." She begins the words, slow, brittle. "He's trying to save Jory." Her hand grips mine, faint and trembling, and then just like that her eyes cloud. She's gone again. But the sentence remains. "He's trying to save Jory." From what? The question slices through me. What don't I know? What has Dad been carrying alone? I sit there stunned. The silence returns, heavy and pregnant. The room feels smaller now, as if her words have drawn the walls in tighter. The scarf slips from her shoulder. I lift it gently, smoothing it back in place, fingers brushing the wool like it might offer answers. I rise slowly, dust clinging to my knees. The floorboards creak beneath me. Outside the gulls scream again, but softer now, like they too are waiting. There's something I need to hear. Something I need to ask. I don't know what saving Jory means yet, but I know where to start looking. I have to find Dad. The sea is calling again. And maybe, just maybe, so is the truth. The porch of Dad's clapboard house in Rockland, Maine groans under a stormy August sky, the sea churning gray and restless below. It's 2025, a week past the Maine Lobster Festival, and the air crackles with coming rain salt, heavy on my tongue. I stand at the railing. Dad's text, "Sold your laptop. Your brother needs a new phone. Be grateful, a wound still raw." His confession that the money went to Mom's dementia meds left me feeling abandoned, and Jory's job loss lie shifted my anger to empathy. But Mom's lucid whisper yesterday, "Your dad's trying to save Jory," ignites a burning need for truth. What's Dad hiding? I knock my fist steady, the motif of anger now, a pulse of resolve. Dad. Thane opens the door, his 68-year-old frame stooped, eyes hollow from caregiving. "Eldrick," he says, voice gravelly, stepping onto the porch. The situation of the SCQA model sets in this stormy porch, waves crashing, is where secrets must break. A stack of bills peeks from his pocket, a letter reveal technique, hinting at financial strain, the subplot tying to Jory's struggles, and Mom's care, a burden 43% of seniors know. The porch smells of wet wood and ozone, and faded Independence Day flags whip in the wind, a cultural detail of Rockland's grit. Dad. Mom said something, I say, voice firm. She said, "You're saving Jory." From what? The complication rises, my demand cutting through the storm's hum. Thane's face tightens, and he leans against the railing, rain spitting on his flannel. "You don't let up, do you?" he mutters, pulling out the bills, a rehab invoice among them, dated July 2025. The plot twist lands dual-layered and shocking 750 characters. Jory wasn't just jobless. Thane chokes, voice breaking. He was using pills. "I sold your laptop for his rehab, not just your mom's meds. Didn't tell you to protect his dignity." The high-stakes scene erupts, 500 characters. Thane's eyes well up, a tear streaking his weathered cheek. The emotional hook of his sacrifice shattering my assumptions. Seniors familiar with family shame and sacrifice feel this shock turn to empathy, love driving desperate choices. My breath catches the revelation, a cold wave. "Rehab," I whisper, sinking onto the steps. Why hide it from me? The financial strain subplot deepens, 500 characters. The invoice lists, rehab program $4, $500, a crushing sum atop Mom's care costs, explaining Dad's desperation. The social issue of financial strain gripping many seniors is raw in Thane's trembling hands. "I thought you'd judge him." Thane says, voice raw. "You're strong, Eldrick. I needed to fix Jory quietly." His words sting, but his pain hiding Jory's addiction to shield him stirs empathy. I clutch the invoice, its ink smudging in the rain. A memory flickers Dad years ago, fixing my broken bike, his hands steady. Now they shake his strength spent on Jory and Mom. "Why not trust me?" I ask softer. The dialogue opens a path, a solution stirring, but the question looms, why hide Jory's shame? The answer per SCQA fuels anticipation. My inner monologue churns. Dad's been carrying this alone, breaking under the weight. I was blind to his fight. What kind of son am I? Seniors reflecting on caregiving burdens know this empathy, the ache of seeing a parent's silent struggle. The storm growls, rain pelting the porch. Sacrifice demands trust. I think a value taking root. My reflection deepens, humanistic and raw. Admiring Dad's sacrifice means facing my own blindness, a step toward healing. Seniors carrying their own family loads would nod, feeling this call to empathy. The cliffhanger looms. Can we face the truth together? I stand the invoice in my hand. "We need to talk to Jory," I say. Thane nods, his eyes heavy but resolute. The sea roars, secrets spilling with the rain. The festival stage in Rockland, Maine stands quiet under a late August 2025 dusk. its lobster crate platform strung with faded fairy lights from the Maine Lobster Festival, now a memory. The sea whispers beyond the docks, and the air carries salt and pine, a faint echo of fried clams lingering. I stand at the stage's edge, heart pounding Dad's text, "Sold your laptop. Your brother needs a new phone." Be grateful a wound that's unraveled truth's dad. Thane sold it for Mom's dementia meds, and Jory's rehab, not a phone hiding Jory's addiction to shield him. Mom's lucid hint about saving Jory, and Jory's job loss confession shifted my anger to empathy, but the pain of being sidelined lingers. Tonight we face it all, me, Dad, and Jory, before a small crowd gathered for a post-festival cleanup event. The pyramid principle anchors me. Honesty heals, and this public confrontation will lay bare our truths. The stage, lit by soft bulbs, feels like a courtroom. The crowd's murmurs a low hum. Dad stands beside me, his 68-year-old frame rigid flannel damp from earlier rain. Jory, 22, fidgets nearby, his eyes, downcast festival apron gone. The caregiving stress subplot surfaces 250 characters. Mom's absence tonight, safe with a neighbor, underscores Dad's burden, a social issue 43% of seniors face. A stack of bills in Dad's pocket, including the rehab invoice, peeks out, a symbolic object of our fractured trust. "Eldrick, this is crazy," Dad mutters, voice gruff. "We don't need an audience." "We do," I say, stepping forward, voice steady. "No more secrets." The tension spikes the high-stakes scene, igniting 500 characters. "Dad sold my laptop," I announce, my voice carrying. Not for Jory's phone, but for Mom's meds and Jory's rehab. He hid it, thinking I'd judge. The crowd quiets, a silent scene, their eyes wide. Seniors craving truth in their own families feel this call for positive justice. 500 characters. Jory's head snaps up, face pale. "Eldrick, don't," he pleads, but I press on. Jory lied about needing the phone, hiding his job loss to protect Dad. I felt abandoned, but we're all hurting. The dialogue crackles a solution, unfolding 500 characters. Dad's jaw tightens, but he steps forward. "I was wrong," Thane says, voice breaking. "I thought I was saving Jory, protecting Leora. Didn't see Eldrick's pain. His admission, raw and public, shifts the air. The crowd's murmurs soften, empathy stirring. Jory chokes. "I'm sorry, Eldrick. I was scared to fail you both." I face them, chest tight. "I needed you to trust me," I say, voice thick. "We're family. We face this together." The lesson lands, honesty heals, binding us through truth. A memory flickers us three, hauling lobster traps years ago, laughing a team. That bond feels possible again. The crowd claps softly, and we step closer, the action culminating in a group hug, hands open, a motif of release, replacing my clenched fist. The relief washes over me. Seniors feeling this warmth, family reunited through truth. My inner monologue hums. We're broken, but we're trying. That's enough. The seas whisper and distant gulls' cultural details ground us in Rockland's heart. Dialogue built this bridge. I think the solution solidifying. My reflection deepens, humanistic and raw. Truth demands courage, but it frees us to heal. Seniors seeking their own family peace would nod inspired. The cliffhanger looms. Can I face my own role in this? I step back. The stage lights warm the crowd dispersing. The night holds more to unravel. The festival stage in Rockland, Maine stands quiet under a late August 2025 dusk, its lobster crate platform strung with faded fairy lights from the Maine Lobster Festival now a memory. The sea whispers beyond the docks, and the air carries salt and pine, a faint echo of fried clams lingering. I stand at the stage's edge, heart-pounding Dad's text. Sold your laptop. Your brother needs a new phone. Be grateful. A wound that's unraveled, truth's Dad. Thane sold it for Mom's dementia meds and Jory's rehab. Not a phone hiding Jory's addiction to shield him. Mom's lucid hint about saving Jory and Jory's job loss confession shifted my anger to empathy, but the pain of being sidelined lingers. Tonight, we face it all, me. Dad and Deepum Jory before a small crowd gathered for a post-festival cleanup event. The pyramid principle anchors me, honesty heals, and this public confrontation will lay bare our truths. The stage, lit by soft bulbs, feels like a courtroom. The crowd's murmurs a low hum. Dad stands beside me, his 68-year-old frame rigid flannel damp from earlier rain to Jory. 22 fidgets nearby, his eyes downcast, festival apron gone. The caregiving stress subplot surfaces Mom's absence tonight. Safe with a neighbor underscores Dad's burden. A social issue. 43% of seniors face. A stack of bills in Dad's pocket, including the rehab invoice, peeks out, a symbolic object of our fractured trust. Eldrick. This is crazy, Dad mutters, voice gruff. We don't need an audience. We do, I say, stepping forward, voice steady. No more secrets. The tension spikes, the high-stakes scene igniting. Dad sold my laptop, I announce, my voice carrying. Not for Jory's phone, but for Mom's meds and Jory's rehab. He hid it, thinking I'd judge. The crowd quiets, a silent scene, their eyes wide. Seniors craving truth in their own families feel this call for positive justice. Jory's head snaps up, face pale. Eldrick, don't, he pleads, but I press on. Jory lied about needing the phone, hiding his job loss to protect Dad. I felt abandoned, but we're all hurting. The dialogue crackles, a solution unfolding. Dad's jaw tightens, but he steps forward. I was wrong, Thane says, voice breaking. I thought I was saving Jory, protecting Lyora. Didn't see Eldrick's pain. His admission, raw and public, shifts the air. The crowd's murmurs soften, empathy stirring. Jory chokes. I'm sorry, Eldrick. I was scared to fail you both. I face them, chest tight. I needed you to trust me, I say, voice thick. We're family. We face this together. The lesson lands, honesty heals, binding us through truth. A memory flickers, us three hauling lobster traps years ago, laughing a team. That bond feels possible again. The crowd claps softly, and we step closer, the action culminating in a group hug, hands open, a motif of release, replacing my clenched fist. The relief washes over me, seniors feeling this warmth, family reunited through truth. My inner monologue hums. We're broken, but we're trying. That's enough. The sea's whisper and distant gulls' cultural details ground us in Rockland's heart. Dialogue built this bridge. I think the solution solidifying. My reflection deepens. Humanistic and raw truth demands courage, but it frees us to heal. Seniors seeking their own family peace would nod inspired. The cliffhanger looms. Can I face my own role in this? I step back the stage, lights warm the crowd dispersing. The night holds more to unravel. My bedroom in Rockland, Maine is a quiet haven, its walls lined with sketches and the faint hum of the sea drifting through an open window. It's late August 2025, days after our public confrontation on the festival stage, where Dad, Thane Jory, and I laid bare our truths. Dad sold my laptop for Mom's dementia meds and Jory's rehab, not a phone hiding Jory's addiction to shield him. Mom's lucid hint about saving Jory and Jory's job loss confession shifted my anger to empathy, but the pain of being sidelined lingers. Dad's text. Sold your laptop. Your brother needs a new phone. Be grateful. And my lingering pain of abandonment nag at me. I sit at my desk, a journal, open its pages, filled with anger and questions, a symbolic object of my inner turmoil. The context of the cart model sets in this solitary room far from the Maine Lobster Festival's clamor is where I face myself. The air smells of ink and salt, and outside gulls cry a cultural detail tying me to Rockland's coast. A photo of Mom Leora on the desk, her smile frozen before dementia stirs the caregiving stress subplot, a social issue 43% of seniors face heavy in Dad's life. Tattered Independence Day flags still up flutter faintly symbols of resilience I'm grappling to find. I scribble in the journal words spilling. Dad chose them over me. I'm invisible. But as I write, a memory surfaces. Dad exhausted, sorting Mom's meds at dawn, his hands shaking. I'd walked past, distracted, never asking how he coped. The adversity hits the plot twist landing. I realize I ignored Dad's caregiving burden, and I thought he'd be fine, just like he thought I was. I share blame for our rift, my silence widening the gap. The emotional trigger of unacknowledged sacrifice grips me. My efforts moving back, helping Mom went unseen, but so did Dad's, and I failed to notice. The pain of being overlooked by Dad stings because I overlooked his struggles too. My pen trembles, the realization hitting raw. I stand, pacing the floorboards, creaking. The journal's pages flutter a silent scene. I grab it, ready to burn it, but first I need to act. I drive to Dad's, the sea's gray expanse, blurring past. My heart pounds, guilt a heavy pulse. Dad opens the door, eyes wary. "Eldrick," he says, stepping aside. The room smells of coffee liniment. Mom's scarf drapes nearby. I need to say something. I start, voice thick. "I was wrong, Dad. I saw you struggling with Mom with Jory, and I didn't help enough. I'm sorry." The resolution unfolds the lesson of forgiveness, clear. Owning my fault frees us. Seniors feel this hope, the power of apology. Thane's eyes soften, and he grips my shoulder. "I didn't see you either, son," he says. "We're both stubborn." We laugh, a shaky relief, the dialogue sealing our bond. The caregiving stress is palpable. Mom's meds on the table, but we're sharing it now. I burn a journal page in the sink, its ashes curling a symbolic act of letting go. My reflection deepens. Forgiveness starts with seeing each other's burdens, a step toward resilience. The cliffhanger looms. Can we rebuild as a family? I step outside, the seas whisper soft hope kindling within me. The Maine Lobster Festival's cleanup day bathes Rockland's docks in golden light, the sea sparkling under a 2025 summer sky. Lobster traps are stacked high, and the air hums with salt and laughter, a far cry from the betrayal that started this journey. Dad's text. Sold your laptop. Your brother needs a new phone. Be grateful. That wound unraveled truths. Thane sold my laptop for Mom's dementia meds and Jory's rehab. Not a phone hiding Jory's addiction to shield him. Jory's job loss. Mom's lucid hint about saving Jory and my own failure to see Dad's burdens brought us to a raw confrontation. My apology to Dad owning my blindness set us on a path to heal. Today, we rebuild together. I stand at a picnic table near the docks, a new family photo in my hands, a frame of us now whole, laughing. The cleanup crew bustles hauling crates. Dad Thane, 68, tosses lobster rolls onto plates, his grin wide. Jory, 22 stacks, chairs, his smile shy. A new job at the docks starting tomorrow. Mom sits beside me, her scarf loose, eyes clearer today. A rare gift. Her dementia shapes us, but we share the load now, a social issue 43% of seniors face. Pass the butter. Thane calls. I slide it, our fingers brushing sparking joy. We eat laugh plan, Mom's care. Jory suggests therapy. I offer appointments. Family bonds shine a strength seniors cherish. Volunteers clap gulls mingle, tying us to Rockland. Faded flags flutter, unity reclaimed. Got a selfie, Dad? I ask. Nudging humor. Thane fumbles his phone, the app failing. This damn thing, he grumbles, snapping a blur. Jory snorts. Mom giggles, a sound like music. We laugh, seniors chuckling at tech woes in 2025. We pose for the photo arms around each other, the camera clicking. We're a mess, but we're ours, Jory says. Thane nods, eyes wet. Family sticks, he says. Mom hums her hand in mine. Hope surges, a senior's dream, love enduring. Reconciliation brought us here, our dialogue forging this. A memory stirs us, for sharing roles here. Mom's laugh bright. That joy's back, hard won. My inner monologue hums. We've faced addiction, dementia, silence. We're enough. Seniors feel this, the promise of healing. The band plays, volunteers join a community mirroring us. My reflection deepens. Family bonds forged through truth inspire us to fight. I turn to the camera. How did you heal family rifts? Share below, the sun dips, see gold. We stack plates, Jory joking, Thane ruffling my hair. Mom hums her scarf, catching the breeze. The docks glow hope, carrying us forward. Our family's embrace under Rockland's sunset seals our healing, a beacon of hope. Forgiveness taught us to see each other's pain, and resilience rebuilt our bonds through honest dialogue. Compassion, like a Maine summer, warms even the hardest hearts. Love finds a way when we listen, a lesson for every family facing caregiving or rifts. Seniors, you know, this struggle reconciliation starts with a single step. How did you mend your family? Share your story below.